As far as traveling goes, it's basically the same on all the different islands. If you're going from one island to another, you're going to take a boat, and depending on where you're going, that will give you how long it takes. But traveling from place to place in your area, from your area to another one for like district meeting or zone conference or something like that, usually from area to area in your area, place to place there, you're going to take a trike or a hobble hobble. Hobble hobble is just a motorcycle, and both of you will get on the back of it and ride off wherever. You pay the driver. Trike is a motorcycle that has like a side cart attached to it, and the side cart will usually seat anywhere from 2 to 5 or 6 people, depending on how big it is. You fit 1 or 2 people on the motorcycle too, along with the driver. So they can get pretty full, but it's safe. Don't freak out about it. They know what they're doing. There's always buses. They have a jeepneys, which is, it's like a jeeps that were left behind from wars or other things. They converted them into transportation, so it's like the back part is basically like the covering for they have for trucks and stuff, and they have benches that go along the walls, and you just sit down in it. And the jeepneys have specific routes that they drive, so you'll just get off whenever you get to the spot that you need to go. Whereas trikes, usually they'll have a specific area that they drive within, but they'll take you anywhere within that area. It's the same thing with the hobble hobble. And then buses have their routes, and you stop them along the way if you need to get off. Weather, it's usually pretty good weather. If I remember correctly, in the Philippines it doesn't get below 70, if not like even higher than that. It's usually between like from 80 to 90 something degrees most of the time. So it's really nice. It's pretty tropical because you're on islands in the middle of the ocean, so it's humid definitely, but you get used to it. Occasionally it rains, sometimes without warning, so make sure you take an umbrella with you most of the time just to be sure. Especially during rainy season, there are definitely going to be times when you don't need it, but there's also times where you think you don't need it and you do. So, and as far as storms and stuff go, it's kind of funny because while I was out there, like, you hear about storms going on in the Philippines all the time. Members and just people in the area are talking to you about it. And then like my family and people would email me asking me if I was okay and everything. But what's really nice is Cebu is not like in the exact center of the Philippines. However, it is surrounded by a lot of different islands. So Cebu itself doesn't often hit with really heavy, hard, like tropical storms, hurricanes, and that kind of stuff. It does happen sometimes where Cebu is affected, but it's usually close to, if not at its least severe point when it hits Cebu. Sometimes Bohol can get hit pretty hard. The typhoon that came like October or so of last year in 2013 did affect Bohol pretty bad. But again, that's part of their life. I mean, they live with the understanding that at any time a storm could come and kind of destroy their house or their living or take someone from them. It doesn't make it any less sad, but it is something that they understand. And it is nice because in the church and in the mission and everything, we get to help them build things back up as much as we can. I wasn't on Negros for very long. I was only there for about 3 or so months, but I didn't see any big storms or anything hit there while I was there. So I'm assuming it's similar to Cebu, if not even better, because it's more towards the center of the Philippines. As far as the storms hit all the islands on the outside and kind of lessen in severity as they're going inland. Cebu living on Cebu, or in any of the other islands in the mission. The jobs and kind of lifestyles that people have depends a lot on where you are. So most of the areas that I served in were in like a rural area. You'll learn to call it the bukid. But just because of that, people had all different sorts of jobs. if you're in a rural area, then hopefully you get a chance to help plant or harvest rice. Again, something that you should try once, because it can be fun if you go about it the right way, but at the very least it's like mind-opening to you to see what kind of lives these people have and how difficult of a job it is. So there's people who have tens or even hundreds of like spots or little fields of rice that they're in charge of harvesting and planting and keeping for the main part. And it's a very demanding and difficult job. Other jobs, you have trike drivers, people that drive their hobble, bus drivers, all the different transportation. Obviously, on buses and sometimes on jeepneys, they have someone that's called a conductor, and they're just responsible for making sure everybody pays the correct amount for where they're trying to go. There's jobs in the stores, whether it's like a little store in someone's house that you just go to, or whether it's like basically the Walmarts of there, like Gaisano or SM or those kinds of things. Those are different jobs that they can have. Some travel tips and advice would definitely be, if you're in a city, then I would suggest that you just never have your wallet in your pockets at all, especially your back pockets. I actually got my wallet stolen once. It wasn't even in my back pocket. It was just in some loose shorts that I had after we were coming back from doing a service project, and it was lost. So I lost some money, my debit card, and some other stuff, and I had to get all that stuff replaced. But the safest thing, and what I did after that, is kept my wallet in my backpack. And that way it's against you. It's difficult for someone to take anything. There are sneaky people who can get into your backpack, but I had a special place in the backpack that was like against my back, so no one is going to get my wallet at the very least. I didn't think anybody would steal my scriptures or anything like that, but just be careful. You have to be really aware of yourself and your surroundings, especially in big crowds of people in the city, because there are a lot of thieves that will take your stuff without you even knowing. As far as traveling goes, again, just understand that the way that they drive and that kind of stuff is just the way that they do it. It may seem dangerous to you, but it's how it works over there, so you're not gonna die, you're not gonna fall off, anything like that. Again, Filipinos are super friendly. You can be walking down the street going to an appointment, and you're gonna see people on the side of the street, people walking down the road. Someone will say "mga unta," which is like "let's eat." So they might be offering you food, they might not be. Very cultural thing to them is accepting and appreciating the food that they give you. Because again, like I did say, there are many people who will try to feed you that don't have very much themselves, and might feed you and your companion more than they and their family eat that day. So you definitely don't want to offend anybody by like refusing to eat their food or anything like that if they're being serious about it. I mean, if sometimes it is just like a joke, you kind of learn how to tell when you're there.